Hi everybody. So I've got the two radios that I'm thinking about for the toaster oven. And I'm kind of leaning on this one, the 94. And for a few reasons. But again, it's the ultimate decider is going to be size, fitting. Can I get this board in versus this board? Can I get this board in? If I can get it in, great. But if I can't get it in, there's no point. So it really is heavily dependent on whether or not I can make the thing fit. With the power supply. Mind you, there's got to be a power supply that's got to go in there too. And there's got to be a cooling solution. I can't just take the board out and slap it in there. I got to have some way to cool it. And it's a toaster oven, which means it gets hot. So it's going to be really curious. So that said, this one is my least likely candidate because it's got a hardware on-off and volume control. Whereas this one has an encoder and a soft power. So everything's already in the digital domain, whereas this one, I've got to put the audio, receive audio in the path in the digital domain, which means I got to make a volume control. You know, I've got to use a digital volume controller, use a microcontroller or something to do this. Or DAC and ADC on the microcontroller. So, that more time, more effort. Ultimately, it may not even be the best outcome. So those are the two possibilities. So then we have cooling these. So how do we cool them? Again, custom cooling solution, probably heat pipes. The heat's got to be brought outside of the toaster oven. Means there's probably going to have to be some kind of heat sink or something on the back to get rid of the heat. I just don't see any other way. Or a internal heatsink with some kind of active cooling solution. Something's going to have to happen. So now power. So if it's this radio, I might be able to get away with this 50-watt supply. Maybe. I don't know the power requirements of either radio. I have to find that out. It's something I've got to do. For this one, I might be able to get away with this 75-watt supply. Certainly this one will run from the 75-watt supply, but I don't know if this one will run from the 75-watt supply. 75 watts equates roughly 6 amps at 12 volts. So, because remember, these are measured in wattage, not current. So if you increase the voltage, you decrease the current because it's a 75-watt supply. So that's that. Of course, then I have the encoder UI situation. And so, in keeping with the toaster oven, I figured, why not use some AliExpress fake Alps encoders like these? Because, they couldn't even bother to copy the mounting hardware for the control when they copied the original, actual, real controls, which has always cracked me up. So how do you know if this is a fake one versus a real one? Well, the real one actually has this mount on it. That's a real one, and it has the mounts. It also doesn't say JP Pat on the back, like this one does. It's got that cheap metal, whereas this one doesn't. This one says JP Pat in the back. This one does missing the mounting. The knurl doesn't go all the way down the shaft like it does on this one. It's just there's a lot of things that you can tell. When I sent their guys a picture of these controls, they're like, yeah, we know all about them. And people are always trying to go to them and saying, oh, your controls are crap. But, they bought them on. They're fully aware of these fake ones if you contact them. They're just so obvious because, missing the mounting hardware and the knurl's different. It doesn't go all the way down the shaft. The writing is wrong. Anyway, so I'm thinking that I can go ahead and use some of these knockoff controls if I need to swap, either the pulse switch or the encoder that's on the oven, because it's got two of them. So I figured I could use some of these because, we got to keep with the toaster oven mechanic tradition. And then, of course, there's the radio's output power. My thought was that what I could do with either I use this one or this one is NPC it and gotta get the splatterbox going. I mean, why not? I mean, if we're gonna make the toaster oven radio, I think it has to be a splatterbox because there's no other. I don't think there's any other way to do it. And maybe I'll put it on a menu item so you can turn it on and off. Like, I want to be a splatterbox today. You know, push, you know, enable splatterbox mode. So maybe we'll put a splatterbox mode into it. So anyway, that's pretty much all I have as far as an update for the toaster oven. The toaster oven is on its way, and it's going to take me a little while to, you know, work out how these work. Because, you know, there's no diagrams for these at all. So I'm going to have to reverse engineer it. It's going to take me a little bit of time. And this isn't exactly a priority. In fact, this is pretty far down, pretty much on the bottom of the list. So it's pretty much when I have a few minutes to talk about it, I'll talk about it. And since right now this is kind of a planning stage, yeah, it doesn't take me any time really to talk about it, just a few minutes. So here I am. Anyway, questions, comments, down there. Appreciate all of the wonderful suggestions that I've gotten from people, including the why not try an SR94? Yes, exactly. Why not? So cheers, guys. Till next time.